In this video, I'm going to go over our list 3 vocab words. List 3 covers the prefixes in, im, non. These each mean not or make a word mean not. You may be seeing a pattern. These are very similar to our previous list. D, dis, and diff also made a word mean its opposite. And then say or see, se, which means apart, which also feels very similar to our prefixes that mean away, like ab and af from list 1. Some word families that are important to think about as we're looking at our new words are the roots part, which means divide, pennant, which means enter or go through, post, which means to put or place, culp, which means blame or fault, and sat, which means enough or full. Also, the suffix, a lot of the suffixes we see in our list, we've had in other words and we are becoming used to, like the ion makes something a noun, right? Imposition, something is a noun or it's something, a person, place, or thing. And we've seen able or able before, which makes something mean it's possible or capable. So our new word list, I'm going to pronounce them all for you. Impartial, impenetrable, imposition, inculpable, indifference, insatiable, nonconforming, nonsensical, secede, and secrete. So let's practice figuring out what one of these words means. So if I take the im, which means not, and the post, which means to put or place, kind of think of the word post. You're posting something, you're putting something, or you're placing something. And then the suffix ion, yun, which makes something a noun, or a thing in this case. We've got not, place, thing. Not, place, thing. Maybe a thing that's not in place. We will have to see what imposition means, our third word on our list, when we get to that word in our notes. So make sure you have the notes. We're going to start with impartial. Impartial. The definition of impartial is an adjective. So someone could be impartial, or an opinion could be impartial. But actually, that's part of our definition. If you are impartial or someone is impartial, they don't have an opinion, they don't have a preference. They're probably not a person you can go to make the decision for you. They're going to be pretty neutral. Unlike others, I am impartial when it comes to the best fast food chicken. This is a sentence that happened in real life. Someone asked me who had the best chicken sandwich. And honestly, I threw out an answer I couldn't even remember. But I am impartial. Another form of impartial, we add the suffix ity. Impartiality is like the state of being impartial. Impenetrable. Impenetrable means impossible to pass through or enter. The word penetrate is connected to impenetrable. So if you can't penetrate, if it's penetrable, it means you can pass through. But impenetrable, we add im, and it means the opposite. It is wise to keep your valuable belongings in an impenetrable, locked safe. And here we come to imposition. And we already said im means not, post means put or place, and yun means a thing. So a not in place thing. in position, and not in place thing. When I think in place, I think maybe it's expected to be there, maybe it should be there. We're going to see our definition of imposition is kind of far from our prediction here, but let's look at it. So it says unfair or unwelcome act and inconvenience. This word inconvenience fits quite a bit, a not in place thing. If it's not in its place, it's probably bothering someone. It's probably inconvenient or in someone's way. So, in that sense, it does fit here. Unfair or unwelcome act and inconvenience. Waking up early on a weekend is an imposition. Imposition. Or you could impose something on someone. The teacher imposing extra math homework made the students groan, showing that they're maybe deriding that that new assignment because it's an imposition. Inculpable is an adjective. Inculpable means not to blame, not guilty. So if we took in away from culpable, we'd have culpable. If you are culpable for a crime, you are guilty. You're being held responsible. After the theft investigation, it was determined that Xiomara was inculpable. Xiomara was innocent. The next word is indifference. Indifference. We've had a couple vocab words already on your last list of vocab words with difference in there. Indifference. Indifference is a lack of concern, care, or sympathy. It does not matter to you. You are indifferent. It's kind of a lot like impartial. But think of impartial a little bit more like it's not something that's going to be super emotional, but indifference would be you're responding almost uncaring in a situation where maybe other people would have or show their feelings. My grandmother is indifferent when my brother and I each want her to choose a side in our argument. So bringing grandma into that makes this personal, but grandma trying to stay out of it shows her indifference, or she is indifferent. Insatiable, insatiable. So let's pull up some word families here. In means not, or makes something the opposite. Sat or sate means enough from our word families list. So already we have not enough. And then we have capable or able, which means capable. So capable in this sense is going to be one of the last things we add to our definition. So we would have other forms of insatiable, like insatiate, that would not necessarily have that able suffix. So we don't want to go too heavy on the capable in our prediction. So I did put not capable, but I added the word of, not capable of enough, as opposed to not capable enough, meaning, oh, that person or that thing is weak or it's not able to do something, with an emphasis on being less than or being weak or being incapable. We don't want to stress that able part too much. We want to put more emphasis on our not and enough. So let's double check. Let's look at our definition. Do we have not capable enough? We kind of do. So it's an adjective, insatiable. It means impossible to satisfy. Satisfy or satisfaction comes from sat or sate, enough. It's impossible to satisfy. You never feel like you have enough. I have an insatiable urge to dance when my favorite song comes on. Like I could dance forever. And then the verb insatiate. Insatiate. Next, we have non-conforming, bringing it to a new prefix, non. Non-conforming, against what is expected, not quite fitting the norm. So to conform is like to fit in or to assimilate or to kind of be a standard. Non-conforming would be against that. Critical thinking often requires non-conforming ideas and challenging questions. So, what that sentence is saying is that it's really important to disagree or challenge ourselves with different points of view in order for us to think critically. And then nonconformity would be the act of choosing not to fit in. It's an active choice. Next up, nonsensical. Nonsensical. It's an adjective. It means ridiculous, meaningless, senseless. Okay? It does not make sense. It is not sense. It is nonsensical. Watering the lawn during the thunderstorm is nonsensical. Nonsense. Then we have secede. You may have heard the word secede before, especially talking about countries or talking about the states during the Civil War. Secede. It's a verb that means to opt out or leave a membership or alliance. You're saying peace out. You're choosing to go. Okay. You had a friendship, you had an alliance, but you are actively stepping back from that. Like during the American Civil War, the southern states wanted to secede from the Union. They were like, no, we do not want to be part of your country anymore. And there was an entire war over it where they lost. So ultimately, there was no secession. They did not secede. And then secrete. Secrete, kind of an icky word for some. It's kind of like ooze or gush, okay, or leak. Secrete is a verb. It means to produce or let out a substance. Kind of thinking of the word diffuse from our other our other vocab list. Diffuse is kind of to spread out. Secrete is more like leaking, dripping, oozing, gushing. The adrenal gland secretes the adrenaline hormone, and that is on your kidneys, I believe. And then a secretion is the thing that gets oozed out, the thing that gets secreted. Make sure you have all these notes and make sure they go in the center of your journal.